Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today let's talk about all the middle grade books on my TBR. So one of my goals this year was to read more middle grade because it's a genre that I haven't read a lot from, and I feel like middle grade fantasy is something I would really enjoy, and it's something that I can start collecting to kind of pass down to kids in the future when they're ready to read them. I will have hopefully a nice collection for them to choose from. So these are the middle grade books that I am prioritizing on my TBR. If you have any favorite middle grades, this is a very new genre to me, so I'm really open to any recommendations you all have. But let's start with the books on my physical TBR, and then let's just talk about some others that maybe I don't own yet, but I would love to very soon. Great, so the first book, and I feel like it's the most classic middle grade book. I can't believe I never read it as a kid. It is The Lightning Thief by Riordan, the Percy Jackson series. I never got to read this as a kid. I definitely missed out because I know that so many people love Percy Jackson. I've never read anything from Riordan. I've heard great things. I have heard some people read this as an adult and not quite connect with it. I hopefully will go in with the right expectations that this is indeed middle grade and look at it as if I was a part of that audience. So I'm hoping I absolutely love this. I just would love to see what all the hype is about and maybe pass this on down to the kids one day. The next one I was so kindly sent by a subscriber, and that is Gregor the Overlander by Suzanne Collins. I had no idea that Suzanne Collins had a middle grade series. If you don't know, she's the author of The Hunger Games, which is one of my favorites. I love that series. And so I'm really excited to check out her middle grade. I haven't heard much about this one, but when a subscriber sent it to me, I was so excited to see this, and I just can't wait to get to it. So you'll have to let me know if you've read this one in the comments down below. What did you think of it? Because I'm very curious. These next three I've heard so much about on BookTube, and honestly, the hype got to me. I bought these purely because so many people gush about them. The first is Nevermoor by Jessica Townsend, The Trials of Morgan Crow. You've probably heard of this if you are a middle grade reader at all. I need to get to it. I've heard it's kind of very Harry Potter-esque, where it's like a portal fantasy and you have a character who is basically, I think she's like about to die, and then she goes to this other world called Nevermoor or something, and it just sounds really fun. It has like a competition aspect to it, I believe. So honestly, I haven't heard one bad thing about it, so I'm very curious to check it out and hopefully love it. Next one I have is Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Alston. This is another one that I've just heard nothing but the most amazing things. Everyone seems to love Amari. I know that this one follows a main character, Amari, who goes searching for her lost brother, and I think comes upon this world and explores it. I'm not sure. So many of my friends love it, so I'm just excited to finally see what all the hype is about with this one. And then at the beginning of the year, when I mentioned one of my goals was to read more middle grade, so many people in the comments recommended this next book specifically. So when I saw it at my local used bookstore, I picked it up. It's The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill. So a lot of you personally recommended this one to me. I'm trusting my subscribers on this one. All of you seem to love it, so I'm really excited to check it out. I think it's going to be a little bit more of a hard-hitting middle grade, so I'm very curious to see what all the hype is with this one. Apparently, it was a Newbery Medal winner, so that is very impressive. So I'm very curious about this one. I don't know much about it. All I know is it's about this like village where every year they sacrifice a baby to this witch, hopefully keeping this witch from terrorizing their town. So I'm just so curious. Let's see how it goes. So those are all of the books on my physical TBR. Now let's talk about the ones that I don't own quite yet, but that I've heard really good things about and seem really interesting. And you let me know if you've read any of them and which ones I should prioritize over the others. So the first one is Eva Evergreen, the Semi-Magical Witch by Julie Abe. So this one sounds like it's very much in the vein of Kiki's Delivery Service, that popular Studio Ghibli film, which I was a fan of. It's not my favorite Studio Ghibli, that belongs to Spirited Away, but I did really enjoy it, and this one just sounds really cute. So I feel like it would be a good one for like Halloween time to read it. Basically, you have a character, Eva, who has magic, but it kind of is like magic gone wrong. Like she doesn't know how to use it correctly, and she only has a pinch of it. So it just sounds really cute, and I've heard really good things about it. So definitely want to check that one out. I also have The House with Chicken Legs by Sophie Anderson. This is one that I heard from Gavin over at How to Train Your Gavin. He has awesome middle grade recommendations. If you're ever looking for middle grade recommendations, please check out his channel. He loves Sophie Anderson and just like all of her works. So The House with the Chicken Legs seems to be the most popular one by this author. I believe it kind of follows the legend of Baba Yaga, kind of puts a twist on that old legend. It says, all 12-year-old Marinka wants is a friend, a real friend, not like her house with chicken legs. Sure, the house can play games like tag and hide and seek, but Marinka longs for a human companion, someone she can talk to and share secrets with. It really sounds cute. I love the cover, and I've heard great things. So let me know if you've read it, what you thought of it. I'm very excited to check it out. The next one I have is The Polar Bears Explorers Club by Alex Bell. A lot of people recommended this one as well, and it just sounds like a really fun series of kind of these different worlds that these explorers travel. Like the first one is the polar bears. Then I think there's one on like a pirate ship. There's one in like the ocean. So I think it's just like this fun set. I think it's just like this fun series where these kids go exploring. I don't know. It says, it sounded like a respectable and worthy enough death for an explorer, tumbling from an ice bridge to be impaled upon a mammoth tusk. But Stella really, really didn't want that to happen, just the same. So we'll see. I just heard really good things about this one. Next one I have is more of a classic middle grade. I think it's a little bit older, and the new covers for this series are to die for. They are so beautiful. It is Inkheart by Cornelia Funke. So this one says 12-year-old Maggie learns that her father, who repairs and binds books for a living, can read fictional characters to life when one of those characters abducts them and tries to force him into service. So like, how fun is that? Actually bringing characters to life by reading about them. How fun. I think that this sounds so magical and so fun and so whimsical. So really wanted to check this one out. And I know it's a little bit older, so maybe not as many people talk about it as much anymore, but still definitely want to check it out. Next one is such a popular middle grade. So many people love it. It is A Pinch of Magic by Michelle Harrison. This cover is one of the most beautiful covers I've ever seen. I love it so much. It says 3 sisters trapped by an ancient curse, 3 magical objects with the power to change their fate. Will they be enough to break their curse, or will they lead the sisters even deeper into danger? Sounds great. Sign me up. Everyone seems to adore this book who does read it. It sounds magical, whimsical, everything you want out of like a really fun middle grade fantasy. So definitely on the list. The next one is When You Trap a Tiger by Keller. This one sounds like more of a hard-hitting middle grade, where it is a little bit more like magical realism, I think, rather than like full-on fantasy. It says, when Lily and her family move in with her sick grandmother, a magical tiger arrives, prompting Lily to unravel a secret family history. Long ago, Halmony stole something from the tigers. Now the tigers want it back. And when one of those tigers offers Lily a deal, return what Halmony stole in exchange for Halmony's health, Lily is tempted to accept. But deals with tigers are never what they seem. With the help of her sister and her new friend Ricky, Lily must find her voice and the courage to face the tiger. How cute. I've heard that this one's really hard-hitting. I think I saw it on Ashley from the Bookish Realms channel, and she really enjoyed it. So definitely wanted to read this one. It sounds like it's going to be beautiful and have a lot of themes around family. So very excited for this. The next one is another really popular middle grade fantasy series that even adults read and absolutely love. I've heard great things about this series, and it's Keeper of the Lost Cities by Shannon Messenger. So this one is a really long series, and I've been intimidated by it because each of the books seem pretty long, but I feel like, you know, middle grades probably read a little bit quicker, so I don't know why I'm so intimidated to start this. It says 12-year-old Sophie Foster has a secret. She's a telepath, someone who hears the thoughts of everyone around her. It's a talent she's never known how to explain. I think Sophie finds out that she's a magical creature, and it's kind of like this portal fantasy where she explores kind of this magical world and discovers more about herself. It just sounds like a really good time, and it's just another really popular one that I've seen a lot of booktubers who normally read adult books also pick this one up and really enjoy it. I also have Greenglass House by Kate Milford. So this one is one that I would want to, I think, pick up around Christmas time. I've seen a lot of people pick this one up around that time of year, and it seems like a very atmospheric, wintry type read. It says it's wintertime at Greenglass House. The creaky smuggler's inn is always quiet during the season, and 12-year-old Milo, the innkeeper's adopted son, plans to spend his holidays relaxing. But on the first icy night of vacation, out of nowhere, the guest bell rings, then rings again and again. Soon, Milo's home is bursting with odd, secretive guests, each one bearing a strange story that is somehow connected to the rambling old house. As objects go missing and tempers flare, Milo and Maddie, the cook's daughter, must decipher clues and untangle the web of deepening mysteries to discover the truth about Greenglass House and themselves. How cute, how magical, how wintry does that sound? The next one I have is Root Magic by Eden Royce. This is also one I've heard really, really good things about. I think that my friend Jess from Jess Owens read this one and really, really enjoyed it. So she definitely piqued my interest in this one. It says it's a historical ghost story set in South Carolina in the 1960s, a tale of courage, friendship, and black girl magic. This kind of reminds me of the YA fantasy book Legendborn, and I loved the magic system in that book. There's a couple different magic systems in that book, and one of them sounds similar to the one in Root Magic. If this book also explores that kind of magic, I think that I would love it. It sounds really fun, really magical, so definitely want to check this one out. All right, I have two more. I know this list is very long, but I figure with middle grades, they might be a little bit easier to get through, a little bit quicker to read, so I wanted to put quite a few on my TBR list to choose from. The next one I have is Brightstorm by Vashti Hardy. This one I think is more of a steampunk fantasy, and I love the idea of steampunk. Like, that type of setting and atmosphere seems to always like really appeal to me, but then I'll read something that's like considered steampunk fantasy and I won't enjoy it as much. So I'm hoping that Brightstorm kind of fixes that and gives me that steampunk fantasy feel that I'm looking for. It sounds like it follows two siblings who recently lost their father, who was a famous explorer, and they are kind of told this story about him and how he passed, but they figure out that there may be more to that story, or maybe they weren't told the whole truth, so they kind of go exploring and looking for it. I think it's going to be really fun. This is another one that Gavin really, really enjoyed and put on my radar, so I really wanted to check this one out. And the last one I have is Girl Giant and the Monkey King by Hoang. So this one says 11-year-old Tom No is keeping a secret. She's strong, like super strong, freakishly strong, and it's making it impossible for her to fit in at her new middle school. In a desperate bid to get rid of her super strength, Tom makes a deal with the Monkey King, a powerful deity and legendary trickster she accidentally released from his 500-year prison sentence. Tom agrees to help the Monkey King get back his magical staff if he'll take away her strength. Soon, Tom is swept up in an ancient and fantastical world in where demons, dragons, and jade princesses actually exist. But she quickly discovers that magic can't cure everything, and dealing with the trickster god might be more trouble than it's worth. How fun does that sound? This just sounds like a good old fun adventure fantasy that's going to have really cool Asian folklore mixed into it. I just love the sound of this one. Hopefully I love it because that summary definitely hooked me. So those are all of the books on my middle grade TBR so far, but what do you think of this list? Do you have any books that I didn't mention that you think I would absolutely love? I would love to know. Leave your comments down below. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you'd like to, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye.